Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 8 of the Switch It podcast, a series where myself and Bailey talk everything football. Now, not too much to discuss in today's episode, guys, but let's go over Wednesday night first.
Yeah.
It was a good night for like most of the big clubs involved. I think all the teams you would expect to go through have gone through. Maybe the top 8 and the other bit where they have to play a playoff. Maybe some of the teams like Real, City, you would expect them to be in the top 8. So teams like Villa, Atletico have done really well.
Yeah, and it was a jam-packed night of football as well, weren't it? There was 18 games on all at one time, so like you said, for teams like Villa, obviously Liverpool, Arsenal, it's great that we've all qualified in the top 8, and that shows the difference in level of the Premier League and other leagues in Europe as well. It really creates a good name for the Premier League. One team
maybe not all Premier League sides.
Well, yeah, we were just going to move on to that, but the one team that's just scraped their way into the next round is Man City, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it looked a bit sticky for them when Bruges scored that goal on the brink of half time.
Yeah.
They needed the players to save them in that game again.
Well, yeah, when they went one behind there, the odds were fairly stacked against City, really. You know, it was the headlines were already getting written out that City are going to be out of the Champions League. It's going to take a miracle to come back from this in the second half, and obviously typical City, they came back. But as a Liverpool fan, that's not what you want to see, really. Because I'd have loved it.
It was a bit disappointing.
I'd have loved it if City went out, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it's not too bad for us because Atalanta did do us a favour in securing us top. I know it doesn't mean much because us and Barcelona, we have the same draw, but it just gives us that extra bit of confidence moving on if we've topped the group.
Yeah, 100%. And also, yeah, we lost on Wednesday against Eindhoven, but in the grand scheme of things, we've done brilliantly, and we got the job done last game.
Yeah.
We were already qualified. Obviously, winning all 8 would have been maybe a better confidence booster, and some of the young lads might have carried that confidence into their future appearances. But I think as a whole, for the squad that we put out and who we had on the bench, I think Liverpool actually did well in Eindhoven. You know, we had a very
we were very good.
We had a weak team out, like all the big players: Salah, Diaz, Nunes, Jota. Obviously, the midfield 3, the typical midfield 3, McAllister, Szoboszlai, and Gravenberch were all rested, and then Trent. All the big names were all rested, which is what I like to see from Slot, really, ahead of Bournemouth. And it means that we're going to go into that game with fresh legs.
Yeah, it's really good that we're in all these competitions and we're doing so well in them because we're able to have extra squad depth because some teams they're only really in the Premier League so they rely on playing their first team every game. But we're able to play our backup games and have them up to speed instead of them sitting on the bench every single game. Because for Liverpool, it's like when certain players get injured, we're not worried. Like if Robertson, an Alisson, a Kanate, a Trent, you know what I mean? Like a Diaz, they get injured.
Yeah.
These other players like Bradley and Chiesa, they're getting game time.
Yeah, and just on Chiesa, there you named him. I thought he was brilliant. I only watched about an hour worth of the game because I was busy doing other things, but I thought Chiesa, when I saw him on the pitch, he just looked comfortable and he looked really rapid and on his game, and it was good. It was good to see, really, that I feel like he was taking his chance, starting in the Liverpool team. But I thought he was brilliant, to be fair, and he's in the next few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if he's pushing for, a solid backup place in the league for Liverpool and making appearances off the bench more frequently.
Yeah, what I thought with Yeazer is after the game, I thought that, after that performance with Shota out, we want at least two good forwards coming on. Say, for example, we're drawing against Bournemouth. We want not just one, but two good quality forwards coming on off the bench.
Yeah, and especially with Jota as well. That's it's a great boost to have on the bench for Liverpool.
Yeah, I mean, talking on Chiesa, the thing is with Núñez and Jota and Diaz, the reason why they would get, starts, like actual starts in good opposition is because they can play through the middle. But with Chiesa, he's battling against Gakpo, who's, a regular starter and, a secured starter for slot, and same with Salah. The other three,
he's battling
through
against
the middle.
all the attack, really, though, in my opinion. He's one of them attacking players who can play in every position, because obviously he's played right wing and left wing for Juventus, and he's also played as a standing striker at times when they've been in a 4-2-3-1. But
I think he could play through the middle.
Well, I mean, he could play any position for me. He's that good with his feet and his skills. He can do it all, really. But he does remind me in ways, not as technical, I would say, but in ways he does remind me of Diaz.
I thought you were going to say someone else.
No, he does remind me of Diaz because he can play, obviously, left wing and striker. But like you say, in Mane played a various amount of positions through his career with Liverpool, and he did. Mane filled in on the right wing at times, Mane
was brilliant.
Yeah, so with Chiesa, I think he's a great attacking option. I wouldn't say he's a great left wing option. He's a great striker option. He's a great right wing option because he's good for all three. But I'd just say he's a great attacking option off the bench, because even he could be a makeshift attacking midfielder at times. He seems like a really good player in general, attacking wise.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool, we can play four attackers. We saw it against Forest. Like we could either lose a midfielder and play 4-2-4, or we could also lose a centre back and play Van Dijk as a solo defender.
Yeah, 100%.
And you might think, playing a solo defender is stupid, but we did it against Forest and it worked.
It's not stupid when you've got a player like Van Dijk there. Van Dijk's that good.
Exactly.
He makes up for two defenders.
A neutral. Yeah, but a neutral, just to saying, playing like a solo defender is a stupid idea. But when you're watching these Liverpool games and you know the players, it's not at all.
Yeah, respect. Yeah, that's spot on that. So
did you see the
Go on.
Before we move on, did you see the we brought a academy defender on in the 80th the 83rd or something?
Nalo. Yeah, he was a player
got sent off.
He was a player which I'd actually included in one of our predicted lineups earlier on in.
It was in the Stanley one, I think.
Yeah, in the Stanley one, but he ended up missing out because he was I think it was illness or something along them lines. But yeah, really unlucky. I thought to come. Well, it wasn't unlucky. I think it was just. I think the nerves and the adrenaline got the better of him, and he put in a bit of a strong challenge when really he didn't need to be putting in a strong challenge. It was a simple scenario where he could get the ball, and like you say, a player like Van Dijk or Konate would not have made that mistake. I think he panicked because it was his Champions League debut for Liverpool. He's going to be nervous, isn't he? And he's going to put in a strong challenge, maybe. I don't know. But I think he might have just... nerves got the better of him on that one.
Yeah, he's a good prospect as well.
Good prospect, yeah. Got a great build for a centre-back, and he looks like if he settled into the team and wasn't as, I don't know, jumpy maybe would be the word. If he wasn't so jumpy, then, yeah, I think he'd fit in well as a backup centre-back option for Liverpool.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so shall we move on to the Premier League then tomorrow, where Liverpool are away at AFC Bournemouth?
Yeah, I think it's it's a very tough one. Not because when we were facing Forest, we weren't saying, "Oh, it's a really tough one," because they're a good team. Also because it was Forest form.
Yeah, definitely.
Bournemouth come into this game like the exact same but better. Like the teams that they've beat away against Newcastle and Forest have beaten teams in good form as well, and Newcastle at their home ground, scoring a lot of goals.
Yeah, and the thing is for Bournemouth as well in this game is that their position in the Premier League table now is quite compact with other teams, and I think there's only 3 points between something like third and 11th at the minute in the Premier League. So a game like this is so important for Bournemouth, and I'm pretty sure, if my stats are right, that if Bournemouth beat us tomorrow, that they could actually end up in the Champions League spots after this game week. They could finish in fourth.
Yeah, all
it
takes for them is 2 or 3 game weeks to be in that top 4 contention. I think.
Definitely. But I think there's reasons why both teams need to win this game. I think for Liverpool, we should be winning this game, given that all of our main players have been rested and Slot's understood the importance of this game. They'll have had a lot of time to work on this fixture, and they're well rested, so there shouldn't really be any excuse when you match up them two teams on paper. The one thing that might do it for us is the fact that Bournemouth will go into this team. They'll go into this game and they'll be up for it because they'll think, right, well, we've got a chance here to prove to everyone else in the league that we're not here to mess around type of statement, if you know what I mean. And
yeah,
the Vitality this season has not been an easy place to go for any Premier League side. I'm pretty sure that Bournemouth are in the top 7 or 8 in terms of home fixture record this season, and it doesn't surprise me. They've just put in really good performances, and Iraola has done a brilliant job, I think, for Bournemouth in terms of bringing in the players that are also they come in and make an impact, yet they weren't exactly a big name at the time, and that reminds me in ways of what Klopp did with Liverpool, because Mane and Salah came into the Liverpool team, but they became the type of player they were for playing for Liverpool. And that's just how Klopp transformed these players. But Iraola seems to be doing this with quite a few Bournemouth players, such as like Cliver and Semenyo, for example. They're 2 really good players for Bournemouth who have shone underneath Iraola, yet they didn't really stand out before Iraola was appointed. So yeah, I think by no means are Bournemouth out of the equation for this one, and you've got to give them their due, even as a Liverpool fan. That they could get a result out of this game, and it wouldn't surprise me if they did. The way they've been playing and the way they've got points off big teams like Arsenal and City this season.
Yeah, and they're very good against the top teams, so they'll have the confidence and the experience to play against the big teams.
Yeah, absolutely. They've not been scared of Arsenal. I think they've beaten Arsenal and City both at the Vitality already this season. So that's already a big, massive red warning lights at Liverpool that, don't go into this game underestimating Bournemouth like we might have done in previous seasons, because we beat them 9-0 at Anfield. Bournemouth were nowhere near the team they are now, like 2 years ago.
We also beat them 3-0 at Anfield this season.
Yeah,
which was an easy game.
It was an easy game,
but it doesn't look like that now.
They've started to pick up their season in the last few weeks, So, yeah, definitely a game which could go both ways, but I think I'm backing Liverpool on this one.
Yeah, on this topic, what do you think both teams will look at a good result in this game? Because Liverpool, going for the title, they'll want to win every single game, no matter whether it's away to City, or against away to Chelsea or whatever.
I think it's going to that it goes back to that saying. I think for Liverpool, it would be... It has to be a win. There's no other way. But if it was a draw, then it'd be 2 points lost for Liverpool, but it'd be a point gain for Bournemouth. So I think Bournemouth would be happier in the grand scheme of things with the draw out of that game. Liverpool would consider it more like 2 points lost because they've got much higher expectations than Bournemouth at the minute, and I think Liverpool, they have to win. I think there's no excuse. If we want to get this title challenge right and build the lead in the table, and not having to leave it to the last game of the season where we're in a fight with Arsenal or City to win the league, you just don't want that to happen again as a Liverpool fan. So it's a must-win game in my opinion. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Arsenal's performances aren't really there as they were last season, but they're still getting the results, and I think that's what makes this a must-win game and Liverpool's game must-win games, because Arsenal are still getting points on the board. It doesn't matter how they're playing; they're still doing it. So we still have to look at it as there's a team behind us who can still overtake us.
Yeah, exactly. And the bar's so high in the Premier League at the minute that it just takes like one or two fixtures to completely rewrite your whole team season. 2 losses on the bounce for Liverpool, and all of a sudden, I think Arsenal would be like 2 points behind us. That's the difference here. So
exactly.
I think Liverpool have to win, and they have to bank on the fact that we win and that other teams behind us slip up, and that's going to happen if we just carry on winning and winning. But I think for Liverpool, the players that have been there for so long, even when Klopp was at the club, I think they're going to realise, right, this is our chance here to win the league. If we don't get this right, then, there's a good chance we're never going to win it in the next few years. And especially with this being potentially the last season where we've got Salah, the last season where we might have Van Dijk, I think we have to win the league. And these games are so important to win because we have to do what we didn't do last season. And that's what we did last season is we drew too many games. We ended up drawing and drawing and drawing. I think we ended up winning just as many games as we drew last season, even though we finished what position did we finish last season? Was it third? Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't happen like that, and we can't ruin our season by losing or dropping points in silly games like this. It's Bournemouth away. That's what you've got to think of it. It has to be a win.
I would say this could be one of our greatest game weeks leading up to the title, because you look at the other side, Arsenal's game's just as tough. They have City.
Yeah, without a doubt. I was just going to move on to that topic in a second, but we'll move on to it now.
Yeah, because this could be a 6-pointer, realistically.
Yeah,
because City are in good form, and they're going to be believing now that they can be in the top 4 and still have a good season. They're in the FA Cup, the Champions League, and a top 4 finish for any team is still good.
Yeah, and Arsenal didn't perform particularly well against Girona away as well in the Champions League. I think they won, but I think Girona had an equaliser, a second goal which got disallowed really, really controversially. So, yeah, it's going to be one of them games. It could go both ways, but I think, in my opinion, Arsenal City again it's going to be a draw. I think is it at the Emirates?
Yeah,
it's at the Emirates. So yeah, the home advantage is Arsenal. So I think if anything goes in anyone's favour, it'll be in Arsenal's favour. So I think 1-1 would be a fair result in that game, but I think both teams are gonna go out and win. They want to win, so.
Yeah, so we're doing 2 predictions this week, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna do 2. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's 3-3. So someone could go 5-3 up, couldn't they, by next week?
But both of us were well out of it on the Eindhoven result. We both didn't get anywhere close to it, so. Yeah, so still 3-3. So what are your 2 predictions then, Harry?
I'd go Arsenal City. I just think the thing is with Arsenal that they're just getting results, and I think this one. I feel like this one's more difficult than the Liverpool-Bournemouth one to predict.
Yeah, I've got my score in mind, and I think you might end up copying it, and I'll have to change it.
I'm gonna go for This is the only time I ever back City. I'm going to go 3-1 to City.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go 2-2.
2-2.
Yeah, and
No. I'm going to change it. I don't think Arsenal are going to concede that much. As much as I want them to, I just don't see him conceding 3, especially with Saliba and Gabriel. So, am I allowed to go 1-1?
well, we can, yeah.
Yeah. I'll go 1-1.
Right, I'll go 2-2, and then in the Liverpool game, what's your prediction?
Clivett's on good form. Bournemouth will score. I think there's a scoreline which we both want to go, and I think you're thinking the exact same scoreline.
I probably am.
But I'm going to go different. I think you're going to go for 2-1, but I'm going to go for. I'll go for 2-2.
You'll go for a 2-2 draw.
I think both teams will score more than 1, but I don't think we're going to concede 3, and I don't think Bournemouth will as well.
Right, okay.
So I'll go 2-1.
I'm going to go with a 2-0 Liverpool win.
You don't think they'll score?
No, I don't think Bournemouth are going to score.
I think that's quite bold.
I might be completely wrong, but I think Liverpool are going to go into this game strong because we've had our team rested, so I'm going with a statement 2-0 win.
So that basically means if the game's a draw, then I win, no matter what the score is. But if the game's a win to Liverpool, then you win.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So,
I mean, you know what we could start doing? We could start doing a bonus point if you guess the exact score.
Yeah, we could do that actually. Yeah, that's not a bad
shout. Because a lot of them, someone just wins because they're close to it. Because it's hard to predict the right score.
Yeah, we will definitely do that. So
I think we'll wrap it up there, though.
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say thank you to everyone who tuned in to episode 8 of the Switch It podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. And goodbye for now.